Me, 23M, with my GF 23F 6 years, she cheated on me, has done everything right since but I want to break up. GF and I have been together for 6 years since we met at O Week in university. We were each other's first ever relationship / kiss / romantic relationship etc. We've had a largely uneventful relationship. Many ups and some downs, but we worked through it as we grew up from being teens into young graduates / professionals. Last year around October she cheated on me. I was in my final year of medical school. For 6 months prior I was overseas for rotations. Then when I came back I studied / crammed for a month for my final exams. During that time, our relationship was very strained, firstly by the distance and then by my exams. During the rough patch she befriended her coworker in the pharmacy she works at. On the day she cheated, it was a couple days before my finals. We had a fight in the morning about me waking her up after I got in at 4 a.m. from the library. She said I was neglecting her and not considering her needs. I apologized for being so stressed out and not being a good BF for the last few weeks. She said she was frustrated and we'd have a serious talk after her work. She went off to work, then decided to have drinks with her co-workers. She got silly and ended up blowing one of the guys in the toilets of a bar. Halfway through the act she freaked out and called a mutual friend who picked her up. She then immediately confessed to me what had happened the same night and she was genuinely shaken / crying about the incident. At that point I was just numb and frazzled from studying. I completely blocked all my feelings out and focused on my final studies. Since that night she has been the perfect girlfriend. She resigned from her old work, which she really enjoyed, and became a waitress until she just recently landed a new pharmacy job. She completely cut contact with all her old pharmacy coworkers. She has given me 100% access to all her messages / phone / internet etc. She always checks in with me about her whereabouts, even though I didn't ask for it. She always asks for my permission to go out etc. She's hired her own counselor and has paid for couples therapy as well, which I've avoided for the past 6 months. She has been completely honest with me and answered all my questions. She has been cooking / cleaning / laundry etc. for me. Bought me a bunch of new clothes etc. Bought me tickets to go to Antarctica by myself in December as a graduation present. She has been completely understanding and tolerated me even when I was so cold to her initially after the discovery. She has been an absolute saint and has been trying her hardest to save the relationship. The problem is I just can't get myself to give a poop about any of it. When she first told me I was numb to the whole thing. Since then I haven't experienced any strong emotions. I just can't seem to give a duck about it. I'm not angry at her, but when I see her all I feel is disgust. I know rationally she is doing everything right and is being so understanding, but even then I can't seem to muster any emotion from me other than disgust and indifference. She has tried to kiss me / have romance since the incident and all I could manage so far are half-hearted hugs. I asked her not to come to my graduation, which really hurt her feelings, but she completely abided. Every time I reject her advances I see her sadness and that makes me feel sad as well, but I can't get myself motivated to move on from the incident. I know that time and therapy will help overcome my numbness, but I don't feel like doing it. I've already lessened in my disgust, but I feel that even if she was 100% faithful for the rest of our lives, this incident will always be in the back of my mind. Also I feel, relationships shouldn't be this hard this early on. If we're going to therapy to deal with guilt / resentment in our 20s, I can't imagine how bad our relationship will be when we're in our 30s with the stress of finances / kids etc. I have discussed my feelings with GF over the holidays. I've told her that I feel every other aspect of my life is fine. I've been getting into shape over the past 2 years, I've just started working as a doctor, which I absolutely love, I've got a good apartment and new friends etc. The only part of my life bringing me down is this relationship. However, she is unwilling to accept a breakup. She says she will always fight for us even if I don't want to. I've already moved out away from her, but she always stays over in my new apartment. I know I could easily just get her keys back and block her from my apartment, but I feel like that would be heartless after all the effort she has put in. I've discussed this with my friends and most agree I should at least try and salvage the relationship. But even then I still can't muster the willpower to actually try. I'm very happy to move on with my life, but I feel kind of guilty for not trying. So my question is, should I try and save this relationship, which is what everyone plus my rational part says, or go with my gut and move on? DL, Dr. GF cheated. She's trying to make amends. She has done everything perfectly. I feel numb to it all and think we should break up. What do? Hi guys, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Sounds like she was selfish enough to do whatever she wants by cheating. Now she's doing whatever she wants again by ignoring your feelings and stating she'll be with you no matter what. How has she changed? That's true. I never thought of it like that, but what you've said makes sense. Update. Me, 23M, with my GF 23F 6 years, she cheated on me, has done everything right since, but I want to break up. Thanks for the advice everyone. Several posts really hit home. Firstly, that she is being selfish by pushing to continue the relationship. Secondly, my feelings are justified even if my friends keep pushing for reconciliation. Thirdly, that breaking up is the way to go. Fourthly, that if I loved her I would be able to forgive. Those words and some introspection got me to understand that the ambivalence I am feeling towards her is because I don't love her anymore. The moment she cheated is the moment when all my love was replaced with disgust, and I am just wasting both of ours time. I realized the only reason I hadn't broken up with her was because I was being meek/lazy/ going for the path with least resistance. Well, 2 days ago I decided to man up and do the deed. I took the day off work. I called 3 mutual friends and they came to my apartment to pack her stuff up. I then called her over to visit me after work. She had a half day. When she came over I explained to her why I was breaking up and that I am giving back her stuff and the gifts she bought and will reimburse her for the Antarctica trip. I told her I don't love her anymore, all I feel is disgust, and it's been a few months, these feelings won't change and the relationship is dead. She wailed and cried and said she'd do better / give her another chance / I am the only man for her / we are supposed to get married / have kids etc. / don't throw our future away etc. Frankly, all her emotions had no effect on me. I just couldn't give a single duck, which just confirmed my intuition was right. She started causing a scene, so my mutual friends escorted her out. She took her stuff but left me her gifts and said she doesn't want my money. I told her to keep NC and lose my number plus give me back my house keys. We parted and I thought that was that. As I said, her parents are crazy traditional Indians. My dad called me yesterday to tell me about the shenanigans my ex-wife's parents pulled. After I broke up, ex-wife went to her parents' house. Ex-wife's dad and 2 brothers then stormed into my parents' house talking all sorts of trash about how I am a player / scumbag who ruined their daughter, how my family has no honor and I have to marry their daughter if we were decent people, lol. They also threatened to ruin our reputation in the Indian community if they don't. My dad told them that I broke up with her due to cheating, not the other way around. My dad has proof and will tell the rest of the Indian community about their daughters whoring around if he hears anything negative about my family. They asked to see the proof, so my dad showed them the emails ex-wife sent to me after her cheating, which I had forwarded to my brother for his advice. Ex-wife's family apologized, asked us not to say anything and then left. Today I got a couple of calls from mutual friends. Apparently ex-wife's parents are dragging ex-wife back to India and will probably get her arranged married. Some of my friends suggested I reconcile to save her from this. I told them to shut up and stop trying to influence my love life. If they feel so bad about the situation, then they should go marry her before she gets taken to India. If they can't respect my feelings, then they should lose my number. Frankly, I couldn't care less about some of these mutual friends. I've made new friends at work, so I don't care if I lose some old friends over this breakup. Emotionally, these last 2 days have been fantastic. I've been busy at work and loving every moment of it. Even the crap parts when I had to do a rectal exam on some 60-year-old guy. It feels a weight has been lifted off of me. I'm going to focus on being single for the next year and just enjoy it. My parents are also glad I broke up. Apparently they hated ex-GF because she had no clue about her Indian background, couldn't speak the language, didn't know our history etc. They've gotten off my back about marriage and said they wouldn't push for it for at least the next few years. Everything's coming up Millhouse. I just hope there is no more Bollywood-style shenanigans / drama from ex-wife's parents. DL, doctor, broke up. Some drama happened but I feel much better. I hope ex-wife fixes her life up, but I'm not going to be her knight in shining armor by marrying her to stop her getting arranged married in India. Edit. Thanks again for the advice. Hopefully I won't be using this account ever again. Emotionally, these last 2 days have been fantastic. I've been busy at work and loving every moment of it. Even the crap parts when I had to do a rectal exam on some 60-year-old guy. That's when you know that you made the right decision. They've gotten off my back about marriage and said they wouldn't push for it for at least the next few years. How merciful. DBH, based on your reaction initially, the last post, and this one, I'd say you fell out of love with her long before she cheated and just hadn't recognized it yet. Either way, you made the right decision. So, 28M, of 9 years called off our wedding, implying we were over. Is this something I, 26F, could make work for us? Edit. To clarify from the title, he wants to make it work too but has reservations due to his belief that I'll always resent him. So we've been together for almost 9 years now. When we first started dating we had a rough patch due to both of us not being ready for a relationship after just coming out of harmful ones, mine physical, his emotional. We broke up for a year and ended up, accidentally, rekindling after he caught his father cheating on his mother and didn't know who else to go to for advice. So around 2012 we got back together and have been great since. During the next 2-ish years I was finishing off college and starting a career while I figured out my next move, furthering my current career or going back for postgrad. We were happy where we were and mutually didn't feel a rush towards marriage until we were more set in life, but neither of us had doubts this was a long-haul thing for us. Fast forward to September 2016, we got engaged. He's joining the Navy and didn't want to leave me high and dry. I wanted to follow him because I still wasn't sure on postgrad and my current job will get me hired anywhere. We realized we were holding off on marriage for a perfect time that would never come. We loved each other and wanted to make that commitment. Originally we planned an elopement of sorts. Just immediate close family coming with us on a cruise and a casual party for the rest of our friends and family after we got back. It was honestly perfect for us and everyone knew that / agreed. Somehow it turned into a 100+ attendee formal wedding neither of us truly wanted, didn't hate it, but thought the other did want it. It was in April and left very little time for us to plan a formal wedding. This is something that I almost called off the wedding for in order to elope because it was just too much and wasn't what we envisioned. Neither of us liked parties or big to-dos. It was a lot of money and stress and probably would have been different if that wedding was our plan A, not an accident. To top it off I've been having issues at work, non-job threatening, just a lot of stress, and he totaled my car after being T-boned, not his fault. So finances, lack of car, and stress took its toll. Things haven't been great for us the last few weeks and just kept spiraling downwards. It came to a head and he voiced concerns about marriage stemming from how we've been the last few weeks. I told him I wasn't sure if we could survive canceling the wedding. They were issues that without the stress of everything else, we could have worked on easily, but with everything going on it seemed insurmountable. A day or two later after giving him time to think, he said it's been if it's all called off. It was implied it meant us too because we didn't think a relationship could bounce back from a cancelled wedding in that way. Anyways, now we're considering trying to make it work, but he's afraid I will resent him for the cancelled wedding and that it will cause further problems. I know it's a valid concern because I was sobbing when he cancelled it. 0% because of the party but because of being in the general situation. Now though, I truly feel that I'm relieved it's cancelled, though I'm only stressed at how to confront family since save the dates were sent and our wedding shower was cancelled the day before the party. The wedding was nothing that we wanted and I feel that it made issues 20x worse due to the stress from planning a wedding, spending money on a wedding that neither of us were truly excited about, the totaled car and finances for that, plus stress from work. Plus stress of him leaving in a few months. Most people know that it was cancelled due to issues in our relationship. My parents are very supportive in us making it work, surprisingly, without a wedding. My sister is super judgmental and somewhat hypocritical about the way I handle issues in my life, so she's all about duck him, move on. His family loves me and would support whatever our decision is. I know it comes down to us, but family is important to both of us. DL, doctor, wedding neither of us were excited for. We wanted to elope, was cancelled by so due to stress/issues over a few weeks and it was implied we were done because we didn't think couples could normally bounce back from that. We both want to make it work but he's afraid I'll always resent him for being the one to make the decision. I feel I am relieved the wedding was cancelled since we almost called it off to elope, but continued due to sinking enough money into it anyway. Update so, 28M, of 9 years called off our wedding, implying we were over. Is this something I, 26F, could make work for us? No, we couldn't because he cheated. I found out this morning through anonymous Facebook message that he wasn't loyal and there was more to the breakup than I knew. I called him twice with no response. So I sent him a text about the message. Still no response. So I decided to check his phone records. Lo and behold, a mysterious number popped up like the day things started to go downhill for us. He'd called the number on nights I was working and texted throughout the day. Soon after I saw that I checked Find My iPhone. He got his first iPhone and I helped him set it up like 2 weeks ago. His GPS showed at a random house near downtown that I know none of his friends lived at. Soon after that he called me. He denied it all and was trying to be all supportive. The moment I said I had proof he was hiding things from his phone records, his entire demeanor changed. He specifically stated I didn't sleep with anyone. Which was odd since I never brought up cheating. As he was talking I checked Find My iPhone again and from the distance, it looked like he left wherever he was and called as soon as he was in the car. I asked where he was and he said driving. I asked from where and he got very defensive saying it wasn't my business since we weren't together. I reiterated I knew he was hiding things from me. I still never brought up accusations of cheating yet. He called me creepy and stalkerish. I asked who the specific phone number belonged to and he refused to answer, saying I was crazy. So I said I deserved to know and he said a friend from work. For the next few minutes he refused to assign it gender pronouns. A little bit later I pushed it was a woman and he admitted it. So I asked who it was and said if it were the few women I know, then I get maybe he was venting to them. He refused to answer. So yeah. We can't work it out. Also prior to this he was already acting like a hot and cold jerk for the week after he left me on the day of my bridal shower. Either acting like he didn't care one bit about me or that he wanted me back because his life was falling apart. Needless to say, I became more relieved that the relationship was over and was more mourning the fact I was in the position I was in, canceling a wedding after a failed engagement. I realized he was very selfish and I took on every responsibility in wedding planning and our relationship while he had nothing to do but work and come home to play video games. For the record, I like video games but only when I have the time. Basically this was the icing on the poop cake and any bit I had left hanging onto the relationship went right out the window. I honestly feel relieved. I don't feel sad. I feel free and happy. I'm not sad being in the apartment we shared anymore. My sister had helped me 2 nights ago set up a new bed that helped change the entire look of the bedroom. Also Monday I'm going to a theme park with a co-worker. While I'm not exactly trying to jump right into anything, he's a great guy and we have the same interests. It's just nice to have attention from someone I get along with. DL, Dr. Ex-fiancé cheated. I moved on. Edit, yes, I'm getting tested ASAP. You seem like you're taking this all in stride, good for you. Just a message of caution about the co-worker though, be careful not to get too close too fast. You should probably enjoy being single for a while before getting back into the dating game. Oh, I definitely am. While I would be interested in the guy, I'm not ready for a relationship yet and my expectations in one probably doesn't line up with starting a new one. I really don't want to make things awkward at work. It's just really nice to have a distraction for now. Read your first post and it seems really ironic, and hypocritical, of him that you guys rekindled your relationship by discussing his parents' infidelity and you guys end up breaking up because of his infidelity. But good for you though. You found out before you guys got married. You go girl. You seem to have your head on straight about this. Good luck.